Bosses, what do your employees think you don't notice? Story 1. I work in a place with a high turnover rate. Those who have stuck it out know well and how they work. When I get a new person and all of a sudden registers start coming up short, it's pretty obvious who is stealing money out of them. I can tell when you smoke weed during your break. I truly don't care if you smoke it at home when you're off the clock, but please stop smoking at work. I notice when you leave for an extra break. It's entertaining to watch coworkers fall for each other. It's even more entertaining when they think we don't notice that we can't find either of them for 10 to 20 minutes. We know what you're doing, especially when we watch the surveillance cameras to see where you went and see you both walk into the electrical room where there's no cameras. They really thought they were sneaky, didn't they? I wonder if bosses who see their employees fall for each other just sit back and watch like it's an episode of The Office. Also, people are really lucky enough to get a job and then try to steal from it? Do they think they aren't going to get caught? I don't understand people lately. Story 2. I come from the corporate world, and most people in my office didn't get there without excelling early in their career and rising to the top. So overall, everyone is talented and definitely pulls their weight professionally. We don't mind long lunches and work hours are flexible because my employees have to work so many extra hours during busy times of the year. That being said, we do notice attitude, and it carries a heavy weight in my mind, even if it's not spoken out loud. I can tell who's petty and a gossiper and who is truly a team player. I can tell who is sucking up and who changes personalities based on who they're around. I can tell who is trying to be loud and show out versus the hard work of unassuming employees who show up each day and quietly get their work done and rarely ask for anything. Humility is huge in my eyes. Those are the ones who get the promotions and advance. That's really great to hear that people do notice the little guy who's just going about his day trying to get his work done, and that not all butt kissers get special treatment. Story 3. To my boss who's been dealing with my terrible work ethic, tardiness, horrible sales numbers, etc. Understanding I just went through an abusive breakup with my ex who cheated on me and is doing my hardest to work. Thank you. Thank you for not firing me and giving me a chance. Because I swear I'm not in the car or bathroom wasting time. I'm in there trying to hold back panic attacks and tears. I also swear I'm working on getting professional help, but I'm getting better. I'm happy, but the trauma from it all, my only relationship, and it lasted 6 years, makes me feel whack. My job and bosses have been the most tolerating bosses ever. I would have fired my butt, but they know and I know, and they have seen it, that if I get feeling good, I'm one of the best in sales. And while I have my moments I can't control, I'm genuinely feeling happy and in control of my life. Aw, I really like that one. I'd like to personally thank your bosses too. You don't see that kind of understanding and kindness lately, which is a shame. We definitely need more of that in our time. Story 4. Not a boss, but I am a young female 20-something in a male-dominated profession. When I sit at meetings with people on other mostly male teams, a lot of men happen to respond/agree to me/take a request at much higher rates than when it's coming from any of the other guys on my team, including ones who far outrank me. Happens with 50% of men on other teams. No difference when I need to meet with a woman. For the record, no one has ever done anything inappropriate to me, and I have never felt uncomfortable, sexualized, etc. Most of the quick responders are nothing but professional and pleasant. I don't think any less of anyone, and although I have a lot of issues being a female in my field, not taking seriously right off the bat, etc., this isn't one of them. But I noticed. Maybe you just got mad skills. You should never rule out that possibility. Story 5. Not a boss, but I'm involved with farming out work to an offshore software development team. They like to talk a big game about how complex and difficult their projects are, and set ridiculous multi-month time goals for them. 9 out of 10 times can look at their code check-ins, and with a little Google searching, find the exact free software project they cribbed most of their work from, and also know how long their project should take. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the whole group was double dipping and being the offshore team for a couple other companies at the same time, thinking they have fooled everyone. Unfortunately, I only get to express my opinion, not actually fire them. I honestly wouldn't be surprised either, and I don't even know them in the slightest. Too bad you're not the one in charge. You seem like you'd be better at it. Story 6. I spend more time with you each week than I do with my other half, or than you do with your family. I know when something is bothering you. I know what makes you happy. I know what ticks you off. I know what's important to you, broadly speaking, in life. And I know what to expect from you on a day-to-day basis. That also therefore means that I likely know when you're hiding something or lying too. If something's wrong, happening in or outside of work that makes your life challenging, or impacting your well-being physically or mentally, talk to me. I can probably help. And if I can't, I can at least make sure your work life accommodates in the best way possible. What an absolutely amazing boss. A boss who actually treats you like family and actually offers sincere help is so rare to find lately. This one really warmed my heart. Story 7. Taking an easy day. I manage a small crew, and when something isn't done, it's not only easily traceable, but the consequences usually have to be dealt with right away. That being said, my crew is awesome. I pretend not to notice when someone takes a slacker day, as long as it's not a regular thing or doesn't put their coworkers or me in a bind. Because when it counts, it can always be counted on. That's not to say their work doesn't have to get done, and I'm not going to write you up for taking an extra smoke break or spending an extra 10 minutes on a task. I notice the hard days too. Everyone needs a little break once in a while. And if it isn't poorly impacting anyone else, why not let them take it? Bosses who are too overly strict usually don't get as good of results as those who aren't. Story 8. I did in fact overhear you say you were going to report me to HR because I asked you to stop making inappropriate comments about younger coworkers. No, I was not shaking in my boots over it. It's funny how people respond to being asked to stop doing something that they know they aren't supposed to do. Suddenly they go to the rest of the team and start talking about how they're going to put in their 2 weeks. And yep, I never see 2 weeks. People just hate being put in their place and can't handle being called out on their BS. Story 9. It's very obvious when people are texting each other during a meeting. See that one person typing something on their phone, and then someone on the other side of the room looks at their Apple Watch, laughs, and looks at the sender. It happens all the time. I usually don't care. I want the team to be friendly and to support each other. But if someone misses something important and then asks about it 10 minutes later, they look like a dum-dum and call themselves out for not paying attention. Yeah, there's a time and a place for stuff like that. And an important meeting is not that. Story 10. The newish 2 weeks kid that stole $500 from the cash register showed up the next day with a brand new phone, then had an extra $350 in his register. Best part, he dropped his new phone in a puddle after a couple days. Worst part, despite being caught by both the paperwork and the camera, and by being the only one on the register that day, because he was Jewish, he wasn't fired. What kind of cheap phone did he get to still have $350 left over? Story 11. I actually noticed the hard workers from the lazy workers. I also have really good hearing, so I know that one guy was going to quit even though he denied it when I asked him, and another employee takes extra breaks. And yes, I could smell the weed on an employee's breath at the start of his shift. I knew some called in sick because they didn't feel like working, or they were 2 hours late for work because they were clubbing into the wee hours. Story 12. They sneak away for extra breaks, and they sneak away for naps. And they sneak away for extra long lunches, and they sneak away to go home early. They think they're clever because I'm too busy to catch them, but they can't hide the fact that the work isn't done. And then they get all mad when I fire them, like I'm the crooked butthole. Okay, but taking a nap at work is wild. How do you get any rest worrying that your boss might catch you? Story 13. When you guys are banging, I've yet to meet anyone who has been smart enough to not let your banging relationship affect their jobs in a negative manner. When you call out sick because of a family emergency, then post on social media about the event/party you're at when you're lying about how productive you are. We have reports for everything. I still don't get how people just post online when they're lying like that. Like, people are going to see it and very easily put 2 and 2 together. Story 14. Sales director here. I know when my reps are BSing me with their sales pipeline. They haven't put work in for months and now have $2 million in potential revenue? Get the frick out of here. There's a difference between a pipeline and a pipe dream. Story 15. What time do you come to work? I'm laid back and I don't really care. Just don't put me in an awkward position because you missed a meeting/phone call, or people are needing things from you. But notice other managers notice as well. In fact, some of them don't like that their own department is more laid back. The worst is when they try to lie. Like, if you've been providing good work and getting your stuff done, they most likely aren't going to care when you came in, as long as it isn't all the time, of course. Just don't lie, it only makes it worse. Story 16. I help manage a few of my coworkers, even though we all work remotely. I can tell when you're not using those resources I virtually dumped in your lap. I can't see what's on your computer screen, but I can see your level of output, and there's a certain pattern that happens when you're not using the TweetDeck. Story 17. I can totally tell when you're into one of your coworkers, or when you all start hooking up with each other. You aren't fooling anyone. But if you just do your jobs and don't hook up at work, I really don't care. Story 18. My friend who was a boss for a company once told me, these frickers don't think I see them looking at memes while at work. They come to work under the influence of whatever substance. Take one to know one. See, if I was a boss and my employees were looking at memes, I'd only care if they weren't sending them to me too. Story 19. Most of my employees bill 8-hour days, and they usually are home like 5 hours in. They bring in a ton of money, and they don't leave work on the table, so frick it. They work half days and get paid for full days. Oh my god, can I work for you? Story 20. They come in super high and can't function properly. Get it together, it's not to function while high. Also, I know 90% of your day is browsing the internet. Just be productive, because I'm doing the same thing. I knew bosses did it too. Thank you for confirming. Story 21. I spend 8 to 9 hours with you, 5 days per week. I can detect unusual activity, such as a job search, an office affair, or pilferage pretty easily because you are speaking, acting in a slightly unusual way. Story 22. When you work from home and send me your work at the end of the day, I know you worked on it for about an hour before you emailed it to me. Story 23. Come in late, don't prepare enough even though there are lists, not clean completely when asked, be on their cell phone, steal money. I never knew stealing money from your job was such a problem until this video. That's actually insane that people just straight up steal from their own jobs. Story 24. You actually don't mind my cheesy dad jokes. Groan all you want, Marcus and Becca. I see you smirk when you know what's coming. No matter how much someone says they hate them, no one can deny the hilarity that is dad jokes. Story 25. Say they want to move up, but show absolutely no leadership when the opportunity presents itself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more videos to come, or else this spider will be in your bed tonight.